tensions persist in the Middle East, the prospect of a two-front war involving Israel is a topic of great concern. The Israeli government has consistently strived to maintain readiness for all kinds of security scenarios. Now, as Israeli defense forces ready themselves for an imminent ground invasion of Gaza, and that too from the northern side of Gaza, they also have to brace themselves for the prospect of facing Hezbollah from the Israel-Lebanon border. Israel had warned more than 1 million Gazans in the north of the Strip to evacuate to the south, which the United Nations said could lead to a humanitarian catastrophe just last week. But now, this situation could get complicated if Hezbollah gets involved from the north. Now, this is similar to what happened in 2006 in the Israel-Lebanon war, when Hezbollah fired thousands of rockets, in a sense contributing to some of the factors that led to Israel withdrawing from Gaza. It is essential to analyze the evolution of Hezbollah, its arsenal, its military prospects, and also the potential consequences of such a conflict if it became a two-front war. The 2006 Israel-Lebanon war serves as a stark reminder of the dangers that Israel faces when it's confronted on two hostile fronts. During that conflict, more than 10 years ago, Hezbollah launched approximately 4,000 rockets into northern Israel, causing significant physical damage as well as civilian casualties. Since then, Hezbollah has significantly enhanced its armed capabilities. Various estimates suggest that Hezbollah may now possess up to 150,000 rockets, including medium and long-range rockets. Hezbollah's rocket arsenal comprises a mix of indigenous as well as made in Iran and made in Russia weaponry. They have modified Iranian-made Fajr 3 and Fajr 5 rockets, increasing their range and their payload capacity. Some of these medium-range rockets can now strike targets at over 150 kilometers distance. These modifications have also expanded Hezbollah's ability to strike deeper into Israeli territory, and that increases the vulnerability of northern Israeli towns. Furthermore, Hezbollah's acquisition of Russian-made weapons like the anti-tank guided missiles and anti-aircraft system, including the RPG-29 Vampires, the 84 Spigots, and the 5 Spandrels, has bolstered its military capabilities. Iran's role in a two-front war is also of utmost concern. Iran has long supported Hezbollah both financially and militarily. In the event of a major conflict, then Iran would actively back Hezbollah, and that would escalate the situation into a regional war. Such a development would have profound implications for the entire Middle East. It could potentially lead to a broader conflict involving other regional actors. It could cause instability and insecurity. In response to Iran's potential involvement, Israel would also likely seek to degrade Hezbollah's capabilities, and they'll have to do it swiftly. This could mean preemptive strikes on Hezbollah, particularly their positions in the border between Israel and Lebanon, and that could further exacerbate tensions in that region. The international community would face a daunting challenge in trying to prevent the escalation of hostilities and also mitigating the humanitarian consequences. Over the past week, since tensions began between Israel and Hamas, there were two major incidents at the Israel-Lebanon border. There was a false alarm of a drone swarm within days of the beginning of this war. There were also more than 40 rockets fired into northern Israel from Lebanon over the weekend in order to try and put the brakes on its ground operation. But fundamental to this problem is addressing the question of whether Arab states can afford a regional war. The Arab-Israeli wars, which were predominantly between 1948 and 1973, demonstrated the immense human and economic costs of such conflicts. These wars have not only claimed countless lives, but they've also diverted precious resources away from critical domestic needs. The last full-scale Arab-Israeli war happened in 1973. It's known as the Yom Kippur War or the October War. It ended with a ceasefire and the signing of the Camp David Accords of 1978, which led to peace between Egypt and Israel in 1979. That formal peace treaty between Cairo and Tel Aviv, the largest Arab state by population and the only Jewish state in the world, has held by and large for the last 50 years. This latest terrorist incident happened almost to the day of the 50th anniversary of the Yom Kippur War. Subsequent negotiations after 1973, like the Oslo Accords of 92 and 93 and the Israel-Jordan Peace Treaty in 1994, have further helped in holding the peace. Add to that the 2020 Abraham Accords between Israel, the UAE and Bahrain. It has got to a point where Arab states have now generally preferred diplomacy over warfare in recent times because they acknowledge the very high costs of war. However, a two-front war involving Israel and Hezbollah with potential Iranian involvement could test this commitment to diplomacy by Arab countries. Many Arab states would likely face pressure from their domestic constituents and also their regional allies. And their response would depend on the evolving circumstances of this war between Israel and Hamas, and possibly, if it became a two-front war, between Israel and Lebanon as well. Israel's readiness for this two-front war against Gaza from the north, while facing Hezbollah from Lebanon, is a multifaceted challenge. Hezbollah's significantly improved rocket arsenal, it's combined with its modified Iranian-made rockets and Russian-made weaponry, all of this poses a severe threat to Israel's north. The potential involvement of Iran in such a conflict would lead to a wider regional war, and that could have profound consequences for the entire Middle East. The Arab states, having experienced the very high costs of past conflicts, would face a difficult choice. Diplomacy and international intervention would remain essential to prevent a catastrophic escalation of hostilities, as also to maintain peace and stability in the Middle East. Something that has held, by and large, all right over the last 50 years, now has the prospects of being dismantled. And therein lies the big risk, not just for Israel, but also its Arab neighbors.